Press the button. And YouTube says that we are going live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Work in Progress Wednesday. Our used to be called North American stream, but international stream. I'm joined this evening by Kajan. Say hello,
Hey
Kajan.
everyone. Hey everyone.
And thank you. And Tactical DBag, otherwise known as Bill K. Say hi,
Hello.
Will. Hi. Thank you both for joining. I'm sorry about the switcheroo on the, but I'm glad that we were able to get both of you tonight. I don't know if Darth Bob's going to be joining us. Yesterday was Darth Bob's birthday, so for the occasion, I figured I should actually work on his Carnifex that I'm making for him, the Great Red Dragon, which I haven't been back to in a while. But yeah, he's not here, so here's hoping he watches it to see what he missed, because this is going to be epic. And thank you to everyone who's joining in the chat. We've got Orphanage here, Brother Pink on both of his accounts, and it looks like that's it. Brother Pink, let us know if you want to join the voice chat. I don't know if you a place where you can do that. Assuming you're at work, but yeah, let us know, because we were just talking about your comments that you have to dress up like an Oni. I was going to explain the whole Setsubun thing to people. You want to explain? Go right ahead. So, Will, what part of Rick Priestley's North American Cottage are we coming to people from today?
Ooh, his Rick Priestley's sauna?
I like it. I love it. Tonight's a good night for that. It's very cold where I am. Is it very cold where you are?
Yeah, it's not terribly warm today. I think we're getting the winter blast coming in from actually you guys down here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to get like a buttload of snow. Well, I don't know what a buttload of snow, but like minus 36 degrees Celsius. I don't even know what that is.
It's close to
Is
negative
that where they meet?
40.
Is that like
Negative
zero?
40-ish is, I think, where
Okay.
centigrade and Fahrenheit meet. Ooh, Marcus just
Oh,
joined.
okay. Oh, Bargeist, welcome. Orphanage, what was your first comment? They only can see them if they pop up in the window at the beginning of the stream. So were there comments on the stream before that went away that you saw? If Orphanage is still here.
He might not be.
I don't know if anyone is here. Apparently we have 3 concurrent viewers.
Barkest is here, the storyboard guy just said
Oh, Storyboard Guy's
ho.
here. Welcome.
Yo. Not ho.
All right. So Brother Pink's going to send us a picture of his Oni costume screen. The deal with him getting to dress up in an Oni costume is that on February, I believe it's February 3rd, every year, there's this tradition in Japan called Setsubun, which is technically the start of like, it's not like they don't do Lunar New Year in Japan. They do like Gregorian New Year, whatever the heck. They do. But there's this like Setsubun is supposed to be the beginning of spring. So I guess that kind of.
So much like Fastnacht over here.
Oh, what's that?
Germany has the tradition of a version of Carnival, but when I say Carnival, most people think about the Carnival in Rio, where they run around with those fancy Ferrari costumes and stuff like that. But over here, we also run around with costumes. In my region, people wear wooden masks, which are demons and witches and stuff like that, and they are to scare the dead and demons out of the area to the start spring basically.
Okay, so what you just described is exactly Setsubun. That's exactly what the Japanese do. They dress up as demons to scare the bad spirits out of their houses, and it signals the start of spring.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm always jealous
Yeah,
because I'm always a little jealous because like the U.S. doesn't really have like fun traditions like that.
Well,
because
you
it's
have.
descended from Puritans.
Wait. You have Halloween. That's
That is
basically
true.
Halloween. You
Halloween is
dress.
fun.
Yeah, but you also dress up to scare to scare the demons and witches. At least, so that's my understanding where the Halloween came from originally.
I'm actually not really entirely positive. My understanding of like how Halloween really just coalesced, because I know there's like Dia de los Muertos. Um,
Yeah, that's what I always think of. Like,
yeah.
is it a Mexican celebration or
I
Day of the
feel
Dead?
like maybe, but I feel like this is also me showing kind of my cultural ignorance.
Oh, I have the same cultural ignorance. Don't worry.
Um, but I thought Halloween was picking up in other countries, like just generally.
I thought I
Yeah,
heard that they had a bigger thing about it. Wasn't wait that huge stampede in Korea? Wasn't that on Halloween?
That sounds about right.
A bunch of people died last year.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that
Because I
sounds.
remember thinking, oh, weird, like Halloween in Korea. I didn't expect them to be doing too much. Because when I was in Japan 10 years ago, they didn't really do Halloween, but it might be. I think I saw an article about it picking up, like in Harry or whatever.
yeah. They also don't really do Halloween over here, but it's a slow creeping process. Every
You think
year,
it's coming?
yeah, every year it's a little more. It started like 10 years ago when the first bars and restaurants would have a Halloween evening, and it's not really catching on, but it's slowly gaining traction. It's a little bit more each year, but as I said, it's not really picking up.
Oh, we're getting
Yeah.
some kind of interesting comments about it on the chat.
Well, there we go. Thanks, friends.
James Mahood says Halloween is the Irish Celtic Samhain. I'm butchering that pronunciation.
I've heard of Samhain.
Yeah, it's the celebration of the longest night, if I remember correctly.
And Chris Lee says Halloween is common in the UK and Europe in different ways.
Nice. Bargaste also commented about ghost comments in the chat. People joined too early. I think I've seen that because I've like tried to post in the chat something to let people know, and then like it disappears by the time of the stream.
And Diana and Tom Wilson joined us. And Chris Lee joined us.
Nice, welcome.
Oh, James Mahood mentions the carved turnips, and I've seen those carved turnips. They are indeed very creepy. Have you ever seen the?
turnips? Sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a thing. If you've ever seen like the carved jack-o'-lanterns that we have in the U.S.,
Yeah.
yeah, imagine that, but with like a turnip, and like it's a turnip, so it's like inherently just kind of smaller, but like and like weedier, and it's just weirdly creepy and looks like vaguely actually skin-like because of the color of
Oh
turnips.
yeah, I've seen these.
They're really creepy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a picture of it. It's looking cool.
That reminds me, I never ended up picking up, what was it, Turnip 16 or whatever that game was.
28. It's always 28.
Oh, is that all? Oh, is that just the dimensions?
Hmm.
Huh. All right.
It's a reference to the scale.
Yeah, that's
Ink 28, Turnip 28.
I mean,
Is Necropolis just called Necropolis, or is it called Necropolis 28? I don't know.
Oh.
Well, As carved turnips, they look like shrunken heads.
Right?
Yeah.
Ah, God bless weird traditions.
Yeah, superstitions.
And yes, the carved turnip should predate the pumpkin. I think pumpkins, I thought, were at least the big orange pumpkins that we see these days. I thought that was a New World crop, but
Oh,
I could be mistaken on
right. Trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to be doing on this model for Darth Bob. I think I've shown these before, but I don't know how easy this is going to be to show, but oh, crap. We've got sketches that were drawn by Roberto Cirillo for this project,
that.
which
Yeah,
are pretty
nice.
sexy. Yeah.
Oh,
but
I think I remember
haven't
you
looked at it.
showing that like a while back in one of the
It was
streams.
a
Right?
long time ago. Yeah. But got to decide what part of it I want to work on.
The tail.
That's a good suggestion.
When all else fails, fun little graspy claw things are always kind of fun to make.
Yeah, our fun thing with this is that oh god, I've got in this giant like sketchbook thing. In departure from standard Tyranids, instead of having the tail be on the butt, we decided to have the tail be an outgrowth of like the spine. So it kind of
Yeah.
like comes out mid back, which I think is fun. And I really like the angle, like the shape of the profile as seen from above. It's really sexy.
Oh, yeah, that is neat.
All right. You called it. Tail it is.
Sweet.
It just so happens that I have a harpy tail. Useful. I'm like, I should do it from scratch. And it's like, why bother doing it?
Are you gonna do it the heavy
Lighter.
segmentedness like that Cirillo sketch?
Do like that.
That
I think what I'll do
does
is I'll like
seem like a
start that
lot of
segmenting.
work.
Well, I think what I'll do is I'll start that segmenting at like a certain point, then it'll like blend into like a smooth tail.
Hey, that could work.
Brother Pink is asking if it's still getting wings. I don't think
No comment. That there's a story about the wings. Those wings are going to be used for the model, but maybe not in the way you expect. But honestly, when I posted like that first teaser with the wings in it, like with all the bits, so many people were like, "Yeah, winged Carnifex is the best." I'm like, guys, I'm not putting wings on a Carnifex. I hate wings.
Isn't that the head area where you're trying to fit it?
The head area where what?
The tail which you're trying to fit on the wasn't that the head area? That's the tail.
Oh no, the head area is over here on this side. And then the oh wait. So the head goes here, front of the chest area. And then the tail will go like from here. So it's pretty leaned forward. Too far forward for the tail? Get the full like diamond shape.
I guess it kind of depends on like where the legs sort of end up relative to that, right?
Yeah, so like there's a spot in the thigh in like the pelvis here. Because like in Roberto's sketches, he's not like this upright. He's very much like lunged forward, and like the head angle works for that. So that instead of the pelvis being upright, it's more like back. I guess that like a dinosaur, maybe. I don't know. But that really pleasing shape that Roberto drew from above is like a diamond shape. And I guess it could be the case that the tail connects here, but I was thinking like, oh, I must have like the diamond plates like come in right like this, but I guess the diamond plates could come back and they could kind of like shield the start of the tail. It'll be okay.
Looks promising.
In Roberto's sketches, the tail has like the toxic miasma vents on it, and he has vents like going along the spine. This will be okay. I'm gonna chop off these plates on the bottom though. I'll swear to glue it all together. Okay, I got a plan. Oh, Brother Pink, did you send me pictures? I don't know what you're sending. I don't know where he's sending them to me. So yeah, I think I never answered that question, but you were talking, Kajan, about the like what goes on in Germany with the ushering in the start of spring and like dressing up like witches or whatever. It sounds very similar to what happens in Japan, where people will. It's usually something you do for kids, like the same way that like you talk about like Santa for kids. So in Japan, um, people will go around town dressed as these demons. I'll see if I can. That's a good. Like you'll have heard of Oni. You're at all a weeb like me. Japanese stuff. Oni is a Japanese word. But the ones in for Setsubun, like there's some really cool ones that get really shaggy. I'm not finding a good. I think maybe they're not called Oni. Maybe they're called.
Blitz Mechanical joined us. Brother Pink said, sorry, I'm currently fixing a table.
Oh, dang. Oh, what the hell happened to that picture? Dragged a picture in. Weird. What the? Google Lens, don't be. Search with any. These pictures not showing. It's really weird. So yeah, in like Japanese depictions of demons, they're often like a red or blue.
Yeah, those are these two brothers, if I'm remembering this
I
right.
don't actually know the story about the two brothers, but this is a very minimized depiction of Japanese demons. There's like
I thought one was thunder and the other one lightning, something like that.
oh, you could be right. I don't know that. I'm gonna find like a really good picture of a really creepy Setsubun demon, but I think they're an album or something. So basically, you get dressed up in these demon costumes, and you go around and you knock on the door, and then what happens is that the people open the door and they get their kids to throw beans at you. Are they soybeans? I can never remember. They throw beans at you, and they say like, I think they say like, luck comes in and evil goes out, or something like that. All I remember is like Onisoto means like demon out. And it's like the whole thing of like cleansing the house, like kicking out the evil spirits. So Brother Pink made a Oni mask 1,000 years ago because he's super creative, especially with anything to do with paper mache. And he wears it for his kid and gets his kid to throw beans at him.
Sounds kind of like fun.
That's kind of fun.
And you get to throw beans at somebody.
The other part of it that I really enjoy, that I was going to do this year and then I forgot about, was you can also eat these special like hand rolled sushi rolls on Setsubun. It's like a certain kind of roll, and they're very long. Like it's not just like a little like cut sushi roll; it's like a full one that uncut. And you're supposed to hold it, and you're supposed to face in a certain direction, with point the roll in that direction and eat with it pointing in that direction, because that's like the lucky direction. And every year the direction changes. Like one year you got to like point like northwest, and then the other year you have to point like southeast or something, and that's like the lucky direction. I don't know how that's decided.
Are they being sold with a compass?
No, I think you just have to have like a mom or a dad or someone who tells you what the direction is. Like literally, when Craig and his wife, before they got married, were living here in Canada, I think she would like call her mom, and her mom would tell her what direction to be in that year.
I'm just now like very curious about the authority that's like gets to decide or like somehow.
I'm sure it's some
defines.
Shinto thing.
Probably. It's like Groundhog's Day.
I don't know.
I mean,
It's a very and that's the thing I was just thinking. Like we have Groundhog's Day on February 2nd, and it feels like kind of like a similar thing, like that whole like spring whatever. How long till spring? Spring's coming soon. I don't know.
I mean, over here, Fastnacht has their own commissions and stuff like that. So
Wow. What
Yeah,
does it translate to, Kajan? Like, if you had to translate that directly, what would it translate to? English. Would it?
That's difficult to translate because it's a deep dialect.
Mhm.
The best thing I can think of is probably Shrove Tuesday, something like that.
Ah. Yep. That's like a Christian thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you guys are crazy Catholic, right? And by that I mean
not-
very Catholic, sorry.
No, around here we are Protestant. Well,
Oh.
yes and no. We are Protestant and Catholic. It's basically every town. It changes between every town.
Okay.
It's usually it's like one town is Catholic, the next town, right? The next town is Protestant, the next town is Catholic again. That's at least in my area. I'm not sure. And the best thing, if I would attempt a literal translation, it might be Barrel Night.
Oh.
Would be the
Yep.
closest, but it's different. Or Fasting Night.
Oh, yes.
Or Quick Night, something like that. It's
Okay.
It's as I said, it's a deep dialect type of thing, and
When you said it in German, I thought I heard like first night, but no.
No. It's also called Fasching. Where I am, it's Fasching, and that would translate to Shrovetide or Carnival, and that's why I usually use it to explain what it is. Because, as I said, we dress up. We have big processions, and every town has their own little group, and it's either harlequins or something like that. We have we meet up in the big towns where they will select a king of Fasching, and a queen, and they have their honor guard, which are
See, this sounds like fun. This is way better than fucking Groundhog Day.
and they will on the Tuesday before Ash Friday. They will storm the mayor's the mayor's building and take over. They for a week. They
Yeah.
are called they are the Harlequins. They are
Like in charge.
the fools. Yeah,
Yeah.
the fools or jester. They take over. The fools and the jesters take over for a week. And they
Yeah.
select their own kings and queens, and they have a whole a whole group that comes together, and then you meet up on the central square, and you have a big procession, and everybody comes to that, and you have different clubs basically, which are having different traditions. Like I used to be in a group. We were called Cleverle Bube, and
Yeah.
basically what they do. It was a job. Some time ago, long before the advent of technology. Where people would walk through the vineyards with sticks and uh, beat basically the sticks to scare away birds and stuff like that.
Oh wow. Okay. Scarecrows.
Yeah, people would do that, and they would walk through and they had sticks which they would. Much like Castagnetten, I'm not sure what they're called in. The Spanish dances with those wooden things which they clack.
Yeah, the castanets.
Yeah.
Yes, that's much like that. And you do special motions, and you make noise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you would and that was a group in which I was. Then there are the witches, which have traditional hand-carved wood masks, and my group also had hand-carved wood masks. And
Yeah.
the village I'm living in now has boar people. Who are wearing wooden carved boar hats with. And
Cool.
lately we have Guckenmusik, which is people. It's basically a band that's coming together. They're wearing real big hats, and they're playing musical instruments and stuff like that. It's all the rage lately.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds a lot more fun than best we got is like 4th of July, and it's just blowing up like fireworks, which
Yeah,
really
and
just
4th of
scares
July is a
people.
little bit America, right?
Oh, it's
And
so America. Oh my God.
James Mahood just asked, "Do you kill the fools at the end?" Yes, we kill the king. Not the king of the fools, but we kill the fool. At the end, we have a huge effigy in the shape of a fool, which will be
Yeah.
carried to the town square and be burned. And when it's burned, you have a morning procession. Everybody, you have a week-long party, more or less. And after
Yeah.
that, on the last Wednesday, on Wednesday, on Ash Wednesday, I think it's at least that's what it's called here, Ash Wednesday. On the evening, you have a morning procession of all the fools, which are carrying the fool to the grave, basically, and you have it's a dour affair where you basically have a morning procession through the streets, and then you burn the fool, the effigy, to place Fastnacht to the rest for the year.
Neat.
Hey, boys.
Hey.
It's Mr. Pink. Oh shit. I'm wandering around my classroom in an Oni costume. Mr. Pink, I sent you the photos of the kindergarten costume, and I also sent you a photo of the paper mache mask I'm working on.
Oh, cool.
Is Mr. Pink still
Where'd
there?
you send them? Yeah, hold on.
I
Sorry, I went away to pick up some rod.
I sent it over Signal. Is that okay?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm dressing up like a demon, and it's a really kind of goofy costume, but I try to spruce it up as much as I can. I put a little fake belly in it, and yeah. Another story though.
Nice.
One year, Mr. Pink and I went out for Halloween, and I had made another. This is in Canada. I made a Oni costume for Halloween, and I bought one of those spandexy red suits.
Are you really going to tell this story?
Yeah, why the fuck not? And
Okay.
like I was like, well, I'm wearing this spandex suit. I got to wear something underneath. I know. I'll wear these spandex underwear that I never wear. These dumb pinks underwear that are spandex. And like the typical Oni, you'll see I'm wearing like a yellow skirt. It's like an animal skin, and I had something like that for my costume. But we went out to the bar, and I lost my animal skin and spandex underwear with a spandex bodysuit over that. Doesn't leave a lot of to the imagination of what my my package looks like. And Mr. Pink is very interested in photography, so he was taking lots of photos that night. And I looked at those photos and I thought, these are nice. Yes, okay. And I posted them online. And then my my girlfriend at the time, who was in another country, was like, "Why is there a picture of you and your penis on the internet?" And I said,
saw it? Oh, damn, I didn't know that
I
part.
was not naked. I was wearing clothing. What are you talking about? Penis. And there was a penis there. So I posted some hog photog on the internet unknowingly.
Nice.
Without even realizing. Yeah,
Without
that was
even
my fault.
realizing. Whatever. You know what? We're just innocent men. We're just innocent men.
It's
I'm
just the
obsessed with
internet.
myself.
Nothing
Yeah.
on the internet lasts forever.
Yeah, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was worse because I was like volunteering with this Japanese Visitors Association, and it was like it wasn't just a Halloween party, it was like a Japanese Halloween party. Here's Brother Pink, this is your current costume for kindergarten?
Yes. You cannot see my hog in that one.
No, the hog has been, and it doesn't look spandexy, which is good.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm wearing long johns that our brother got me.
Well, yeah, so like I didn't mean to take a picture of your junk. We were just like, we're in a bar and it was dark and I was using a flash, and
Right.
apparently in a dark bar you couldn't see it, but when the flash went off, you could definitely see it.
Whatever. Come on.
Anyway, I didn't know you were going to tell that story. Way to go.
Who cares? It's one of the last
Here
good
is
stories.
Oh, what have I done? I think I just broke the chat. Here is the mask.
Yeah.
What's the blue one? The blue one is the mask.
The blue one is my own personal one. They wouldn't let me wear it here, probably. Too scary.
Oh, okay. That's too scary, really?
Well, I think they want, like, so I'm the red Oni. My coworker, he's going to be the blue Oni, and this one's my own to take home. But like, he was like, where he worked previously, they had a way more realistic kind of costume. I've seen like the kind of traditional ones that are maybe wood carved masks. They look really cool. And like, my school has money; they could do anything they want, and we get these silly, goofy, crummy costumes. And I think it's on purpose to kind of not make it too scary. Some parents might complain, or right, and even like with the silly red costume that you just posted, like kids will lose their mind in fear.
They get scared? Oh,
they get
really?
very scared. Oh yeah.
I can't find any good pictures of like traditional Oni outfits, like the ones with like the grass, like skirts and stuff.
Those are really cool.
So what's the deal behind the colors?
The red and the blue? I have no idea. I think people. Well, there's the story about the Tengu, who's also a really red kind of guy with a very long nose and white hair. And there's like belief that this was actually just a foreign person who wandered onto Japan, who got sunburned and was just wandering around. Everyone's like, "It's a monster!" And really, it was just a white guy,
foreign dude with a big long nose.
White guy with a sunburn.
So this is going to be Craig in the red, or Brother Pink in the red costume here, and this is going to be his wife and his son pelting him with beans at their front door. That's how it works. That even kind of looks like your house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Every house in Japan looks like.
No, it looks like my house. Yeah. And like I had a paper mask for the Red Oni last year, and my son was still like, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that?" And like crying. But he was 2.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
he was terrified. I'm assuming he'll be terrified this year, regardless of if I use that incredibly scary blue mask, which I will.
I don't think it's that scary. Would you find it, Kajan?
I'm not sure.
You
So
sent it to Cloud Glorify.
Kajan, you were talking about the Thunder God. That's Raijin or Raiden.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to
It
me.
looks like the Oni, but it's a
Namahage.
separate deity.
Oh,
You're right. Namahage. That's what they're called. Yes. Thank you, Kajan. Okay, Kajan knows more about Japan than I do.
I barely do know anything.
So traditional. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is my favorite. I think I saw this somewhere else. I fucking love this. Oh, Google, why are you such garbage? All right, hold on. Open image, new tab. Will that do it? There we go. There we go.
Is Dwarfenage here?
Orphanage was here.
think he
I
left
haven't
earlier.
I haven't seen him say anything.
Oh, Daddy Gamble just signed on there.
Ooh.
Oh, Daddy Gamble, welcome. We're having like really random chats that have very little to do with the hobby.
And Mr. Pink is not doing his work.
I did some work. I
Oh,
did a
sorry.
little bit. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is my favorite picture of like. Oh, I'm really breaking everything. So this is what I was picturing when I was thinking of Setsubun, Namahage, which are like those red and blue demon masks, but like the people wearing the demon suits like wear these like grass outfits. Actually, these masks don't look that good. But what I love here is that there's like in some versions of it they like take children away. So like you're talking about your kindergarten kids getting scared, your son getting scared. Look at how scared that kid is. The kid is like, no, I do not want. Let's get. That's
Another one right now my son is obsessed with is called Shishimai. And it's like you go to the temple on New Year's Eve and it's this little like wooden dragon box and it like chomps on your head for good luck.
Oh wait, I do remember that. Yeah.
So he has this like toy that's just a plastic set of teeth that can open and shut. It's from like a dentist set. And he's using that and going around our house and chomping on everybody's head for good luck. So I gotta make him a Shishimai dragon. But he at the temple we went to on New Year's, he was like, I do not want to go near that thing. It's scary. So
okay. So here's what this is what I was picturing when I was thinking Setsubun. These are like Namahage, which are the old school traditional versions of the demons that would come and try and take children away. And maybe Namahage, are they actually from Setsubun or are they something else?
I don't know, because in your town you guys did something different too.
Well, apparently Japan is trying to add Namahage visits to the UNESCO World Heritage roster or something. That's interesting.
But Mr. Pink, the town you lived in, you guys would have like a Tengu that would walk the streets, and you were never allowed to be higher than him. And if he saw you looking out the window at him, like he would send townsmen into your house to kind of grab you and drag you out and like force you to apologize, right?
Yeah. So I got really lucky. I lived in let's see if I can find it. I lived in a little fishing village. Sorry, this is the Weeb edition of Work in Progress Wednesday. We're just talking about random
It's Weeb in progress
stuff.
Weeb in Progress Wednesday.
It's Weeb in Progress Wednesday. I love it. Tengu, that's what I'm looking for. So I live in this tiny ass oh man, this is cool. Oh look, it came up with a picture from my old Japan blog. I lived in this tiny fishing village. and they had a festival every year. Actually, they had two. That's weird. They called it Tengu Festival or Tengu Matsuri or whatever, but there was also a different one. But like at both of them, this dude in a Tengu outfit would like legit. Okay, this is like our picture. He'd walk around the town, like Brother Pink was saying, and here's a picture. And then at the end of the night, they'd light this huge bonfire, and this Tengu dude would just like stride through this bonfire in this crazy demon outfit. It was pretty badass. And then they would get these portable shrines and they would run them through the fire. This is a picture taken by my buddy Ross at the festival in my town. But let's see if I can get a picture of the front. You've probably seen Tengu before.
They just got the really long nose, right?
Yeah.
White hair, wings, and he
white hair.
stilted shoes.
Right. Thanks, anime.
Thanks, anime. I wish there was like a tourist in Japan that would just say that constantly, like, don't worry, I know what to do. Thanks, anime.
Oh my god, that's so smart. That's like everyone in the JET program.
Tom Wilson asks, are the kids supposed to know it's you, or are they supposed to think you are a demon?
They will know at the end. I'll take off always whenever we like. I also do a stranger danger presentation, and always at the end they get revealed that it was Mr. Craig all along.
So
Like I think they're really concerned. They're really concerned with the parents calling in and being like, "What the hell happened? My kid is a nightmare." Blah 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 blah. So they always, yeah. So they'll grab me by the back of my jacket and they'll pull my mask off and say, and I'll try to say, "I'd get away with it too if it wasn't for those blasted kids."
And they are like, "What are you saying in English?"
Yeah, yeah. Ego wakanai.
Okay, this is taking way more work.
Why don't you work on a model instead?
Shut up.
Sorry, it's my fault. I derailed this whole thing.
Did I put it on the desktop? Is that the problem? Oh, I put it on the desktop because
So when you are supposed to eat a number of beans equal to your age, does it mean you have to pick them up from the ground?
Yes, you do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think what they'll do over here is they'll throw wrapped candy, and they'll all fight to get wrapped candy anyways. But in my house, the floors are immaculately clean, so we'll just eat them off the floor.
Okay, here's the dude. So this is the Tengu from my town. I think that guy walking to his right is like the father of one of my students when I was there. I think that's one of my students behind him, like on the left. And yeah, he'd walk around town and he would bless different places. But he was on these stilts. And like Brother Pink said, if you were higher than the Tengu, he would stop and he would like point his spear at you. And he's a dude in a costume. Like I saw him like practicing outside the junior high school, but there's something a little creepy when he like sees you and he like points at you and you're like, oh my God. It felt, I don't know, it felt kind of weird. But yeah, it was really cool. It was a really fun festival. And then at the end of the night, he runs through walks through the fire like a badass. So yeah, this is what Craig was meaning when he said that there's a theory that when they first came up with the idea of Tengu, that it was just some lost European with a sunburn and a really big nose. They're like, what is this demon? It's like, no, it's just a demon.
But he's so red.
It's very red.
Ooh.
Given that the Norse, the Vikings went all the way over there, I'm not surprised.
Who's Carbide? He says, "Good evening, guys."
Oh, Carbide, welcome.
Welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the weirdest stream ever.
Blitz Mechanica is working on an ATST drawing armor in CAD. Like extra armor for the ATST? That's cool.
That sounds cool.
Anybody playing Legion?
Carbide's commented on some of my videos. I think he's a musical artist.
Ooh.
Welcome back.
Hi, Carbide.
I'm pretty sure Blitz Mechanica is doing far more work in progress stuff than any of them.
Quiet you!
But it's
Quiet you!
But his is in CAD, so it's just a bunch of zeros and ones.
Let's see what shit is.
Yeah,
Sure.
Darth Bob posted that meme image in the Discord where you have the Ewoks fighting the Sentinel.
All right.
Oh, Carbide also does sculpt a bit too. Carbide, where can we see your stuff?
It's a good question.
Correct.
Does Carbide?
Yeah, I
have
think
an
Carbide
info?
wrote a really great comment on the video that Simon and I did about 3D sculpting. And if I recall correctly, he'd been out of the hobby for a time, but now he's come back to it or something. I don't know if I'm remembering this right.
Ooh.
I do read your comments on YouTube. See, people? I appreciate them, everyone.
Instagram.
This is so
Carbide
weird.
Instagram, I guess.
I just got followed by.
Sorry, what was that?
I just
Will?
got followed by some random like Chinese or Japanese dude on Insta who's only posting up stuff like about a Nissan GTR. I have.
Yeah, okay, he might not be a great follower.
I'm assuming he's just some like random dude, but like that's weird.
Hey, maybe he likes models.
I mean, maybe.
You don't know.
I don't.
Maybe he likes GTRs and models.
I mean, maybe. Just kind of confusing.
So do people want to talk Tyranid rumors?
Yeah.
I know we promised that we're going to do it with Marco, but
I mean, you can
there
always
was
do
right
it with
before I.
Marco as well. So
What's that, Kajan?
you can always do it with Marco as well. That's
True. Before we started this, I saw that there was a video from Valrak, who does a lot of rumor stuff. I never really watched his stuff before, but he started posting stuff about Tyranids, and I was like, excuse me, I'm interested. But like, he hasn't got like a ton of info. I think he was the one who first linked the rumors or leaked the rumors that we talked about last year, which like the Hypergaunts and the Gigafex or something.
Right.
Macrofex, is that what they're calling it? So a few weeks back, he had a video where he talked about like, he's like, oh yeah, like new Tyranid rumors for the Warhammer 10th edition or Warhammer 40k 10th edition box set. And he basically said like, oh yeah, there's going to be a new Pyrovore and a new Biovore and a new Lictor. I'm like, these are not rumors. Tyranid players could have come up with these in their sleep. Like, those are our last 3 Finecast models, so it's not really that surprising.
Valrak's funny because he'll take 10 minutes to tell you like one piece of information. Like he had one about Space Marines.
This is
big thing about
how-
Space Marines, and his Space Marines ones was that in the new edition, Primaris and the other guys, they can go in each other's transports. There's going to be no distinction. I was like, okay, great. You took 10 minutes to say that, for Christ's sakes. I know. I guess it's
Welcome
10
to
minutes.
the YouTube
Yeah, I
grift.
know.
Welcome to the YouTube grift. Don't say anything in 3 minutes that you could say in 10.
I took a look at Carbide stuff. Carbide's sculpting a big ass orc right now that looks really cool. I don't know.
That's cool.
If Carbide, are you using epoxy sculpt? It's a gray sculpting material he's using. I don't know if it's what it is. And then also, like I like the humanoid stuff he's doing, but I want to know what it's for.
What is Carbide's Instagram?
Carbide
it's
_ miniatures.
It's in this chat and in this Discord chat.
Oh, thanks. _ miniatures. Oh, wait. That profile picture looks familiar. I think I remember the orc. Oh, nice. Oh, dang. I really like the plugs in the orc's back. The veins.
And super sculpty, firm. So he has to bake it then.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah.
It's polymer clay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was doing and shout out to Tom Wilson for critiquing me for randomly cutting and not worrying about losing fingers. So Valrak was talking in this new video, not the one where he's like, guess what? New Lictor, new Biovore, new Pyro. Also, it drives me a little nuts because he's a Marine guy, right? And he's like, I don't know anything about Tyranids. What's a Pyrovore? It's like, oh man, come on. It's someone who knows NIDS. But in his video today, it was kind of a little more exciting. He said that Tyranids are going to be getting a new unit type called he was like, I don't know how to pronounce this, and then he blurbled out some words that sounded like Norn Emissary Bard Gaunt or Norn Emissary Barbed Gaunt or Bad Gaunt. He's got an accent, and I think he didn't really hear. I don't know if he saw the words written down or if he just heard them or something. But that sounds kind of interesting. Like the Norn Emissary, I'm very interested in, but the Gaunt part sounds boring. So I'm hoping those are two separate things. That we get something called a Norn Emissary, and maybe that's a Dominatrix. How cool would that be? And the Bard Gaunt is something else. I don't know what that's about. I commented on his video. I'm like, hey, can you write down that so that I can like see how it's written? But everyone in his comments is talking about Norns and Norn Queens and stuff. And then the other thing that he said is that lictors are confirmed for a new model, but they will also be getting, he said, an Alpha Lictor and a Lictor Prime. And he was like, I don't know what those are. I tried Googling them. I didn't find them. I'm like, damn it. Clearly I need to get that blog post up.
Is the Alpha Lictor supposed to like take over like the Red Terror or something like that?
Well, I'm wondering if an Alpha Lictor, because if you think of like alphas or primes, they're usually leaders, right?
Yeah.
Like you got a Trigon Prime, you got a Tyranid Prime. Maybe you can get like an HQ that's a Lictor. How cool would that be? I guess that's like the Death Leaper kind of.
Interesting rumors.
There was something you said on the video about like the Space Marine missile launchers that like it seems that GW's Moto Apparati now is like, okay, you have two options and you're locking yourself into an option now. So maybe it's that way with the Lictor. Like you're buying the kit, you got all these options, but you're getting locked into one.
Ah, interesting. That'd be shitty for Tyranids because we're supposed to have so many options.
And also like it's always like these two options that like, is there a real difference? Like the Necron Warriors, they have two options of guns. One is like an 18-inch 2-shot gun, and one is a 24-inch.
Oh yeah, one's the assault one.
And like they're these tiny little hairs you're splitting, and like what are you gaining from all these options, really? Like everyone's kind of sitting there and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What should I do? What should I do? Why not make your game a little bit simpler? Like just put the Lictor on and he can do this or he can do this. Believe me.
I mean, I'm all for options because right now there are no Lictor options. You get a Lictor. What are your options? Do you want a Lictor or do you not want a Lictor? Those are
your options are go to Mr. Pink, he'll make you a bigger one.
But no, like it'd be cool to have some kind of like, I don't know if it's necessarily war gear options, but having, I don't know, it's cool. Like we used to just have Zoanthropes, and now we have, well, I guess there was the Doom of Malantai for a short time, but now there's Zoanthropes and there's Neurothropes, and that's cool that there's that variation there.
And Venom
is a Neurothrope an HQ? I can't remember.
HQ, yeah.
Thanks. No, Venom Thropes are different from Neurothropes, man.
But they come in the same kit.
Yeah, but different. Yeah, so that's cool. It sounds like we're probably getting a Lictor HQ. Nice. I don't know what this Norn Emissary thing is. That sounds real cool. What do you guys think that could be? Like when you hear Norn Emissary, what do you think?
A Zote.
I wish.
Okay.
Well, my first.
No, we already got a Zote. We need something new. Although we can't even get Zotes, so.
What about a second Zote?
Hey, how cool would it be if like the Zote is re-released as an actual Tyranid kit? I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're trying to like separate them because I don't know that the Zote really fits with Tyranids, but
honestly, I
just want to be able to buy that Zote.
I like the idea of like fluff-wise of this alien Xenos species that managed to sort of escape the hive mind. Like I think it's a very neat concept that's sort of we don't have too much of.
Is that what their fluff is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that part of their fluff.
The original fluff was that they were sort of a slave species.
Yes, I remember that.
That was genetically engineered, and they were, because they had the ability to communicate and were somewhat telepathic. They were sort of a harbinger diplomatic way of like invasion, pre-invasion, sort of in the same way that the Gene Stealers were like the more covert and more just like disruptive. But
Yeah.
like they kind of fluffed it later on that, you know, they sort of, I think some of them like broke free of like the Tyranid like control.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then that's why like if you look back, they have those old Zote HQ models that are god awful called Dominators.
Dominators?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really ugly models.
They are pretty ugly.
Yeah, it's the level of ugly that was like I can't, like, as much as I would love collecting like those things, like I can't justify the price point that those things are going for and how ugly they are to like, actually
Yeah.
purchase. But I like the idea of like that entire race just kind of having a fluff of like, yeah, we were part of the NIDS and like, oh boy, we finally got out, thank God.
That's pretty good fluff.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I could see them also just, you know, doing something where they can ally with, you know, some of the other stuff like the Tau Empire, or like you can totally see
Ow, that would be cool. Yeah.
totally see them like, you know, working together with them, or even the Voton, you know, having some relationship with that, because they have what the was it in Blackstone Fortress? Was it the Archivist or something like that? Is that what that?
Yes, that was the name.
So, like, I think there's like a lot of cool, interesting things they could do with that, and hopefully just not turn into more Hasbro's Warhammer 40K that, like, I feel like every other kit.
But wait, tell me what you think about what you think a Norn emissary would be.
Well, when I think emissary, it's somebody who like heralds something, right?
Yeah.
So I could see it being sort of, I don't know, a cross between like a tyrant and like a Neurothrop kind of thing, and sort of ends up being a maybe more direct link to a Norn Queen or something like that.
Yeah.
At least, you know.
Kajan, what are you feeling?
To be honest, I'm not sure how this will work logistically. I mean, from the Tyranid perspective, why does she need an emissary? But
Well, let's think that it's maybe just a name rather than like a position.
yeah, but it should have a function on the battlefield, and for
Right.
me,
If I'm going to name it an emissary, is it just a joke that it's just going to gobble me up? Is it a Carnifex? What's it doing?
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
the thing I'm thinking right now is when I hear Norn emissary, the first thought I had was, but we already have a Hive Tyrant.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got boobs.
That was my first thought when I heard it. I know the Dominatrix is a thing. If it should be a thing, it's something entirely different. But I'm not sure what purpose it serves for the Norn Queen. Does she need to send some specialized organism down to pick something up? I don't know.
I got exactly what it is. It's like this Tyranid that kind of looks human or friendly, but it's surrounded by a bunch of infested humans, and the humans are kind of like wandering around with her. So she's like the leader of these. She's the emissary of these humans that have been converted to Tyranids.
I mean,
So, like,
that's interesting.
I'm all for Kerrigan, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's Sarah Kerrigan. GW is putting the final nail in their Blizzard coffin.
There you go.
GW is just perpetually copying Blizzard.
Oh, Blizzard's going
Oh
down.
my god, this
Anyways.
conversation again.
yeah.
Is Blizzard going down?
Oh man, totally.
What do you mean?
They had this huge blowout where like there was all this like allegations of sexism and stuff, and then they released their new flagship game was going to be Overwatch 2, and that kind of not so great. And
why? What happened with Overwatch 2?
Just nothing. It was basically like, why are you releasing a sequel to this game when it's just the same game? And I think there's somebody Sony
At
plays
least
Overwatch here.
the way I heard it was a worse sequel where they basically reduced the scope down. I'm not sure. I don't.
I think it's
play-
one less person per team.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I think
And
Blitz plays Overwatch, doesn't he?
And I mean, if you look at the stock price, last year the stock price was 80 euros around August last year, and this end of January we were down to 70 euros, so it's lost a bit of money
Doing
on
so
the
hot.
stock market. So.
My coworker
But
here, who's also
Like the
dressing
stock
up.
market's shit for a lot of people right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
True.
it was the worst it was in mid of 2021. So when all those allegations came out and stuff like that, that's when the market price really crashed. But it recovered.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you guys see the new Heresy model?
You mean the Forge World thing?
It's a little dude.
Yeah, the little psyker dude.
Yeah.
I mean, nice model.
Yeah.
Why isn't it in plastic?
That's what I'm wondering. But I guess like that little models like that should be Forge World's bread and butter. Big tanks, maybe that's what they just push over to plastic right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was the thing from the Discord where Dwarven Age asked if anybody gets it and doesn't want the head.
No, Dwarfinish said Primaris Psyker. Not a Primaris Psyker.
Oh,
What
the
Primaris
Primaris
Psyker?
Primaris Psyker is an Imperial Guard model. I
Oh.
don't know why they call it a Primaris. It's just confusing, but it's actually a pretty cool model. It's kind of looks a little bit like a Gene Stealer Magus, but like before it like becomes Xenos.
Mm.
But
Back in the Pewter days, the Primaris Psykers for Imperial Guard all looked very similar to the Maguses for not the Magus. What are they called? Mr. Pink, you have one.
What do you mean?
You gave it a dumb gun.
I have many. What do you mean?
What's the Tyranid Psyker boy human Gene Stealer calls
Magus?
human guy called?
Magus.
It's called a
Magus.
Magus?
Yeah.
Yes. And then there's the
okay.
Primus.
Okay, it is the Magus.
It's the woman of the on the team.
But the old Pewter
There's
Magus
the lady. There's the
looked a
man.
lot like the old Pewter Primaris. They both had that weird collar behind their bulgy, bald heads.
Yeah, the Megamind.
Yeah.
The Megamind.
Yeah. Yeah.
color.
Not quite as mega-mindy as that Necromunda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still needs the Black Mamba upgrade kit.
Like I don't to just get back on that model. I don't know who greenlit that thing and then just goes like, we just made a Megamind like model. Like seriously,
What is Megamind from? I think I'm too old.
it's a movie
It's
called
a
Megamind.
CGI. CGI
Is the movie called Megamind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, you should be watching it.
It's actually a pretty
fun.
good movie.
It's good fun.
It's sort
It's
of
about a villain turning good guy.
it kind of plays a little bit on.
I thought it was like a character in like Incredibles or something.
Yeah.
But no.
A little bit, yeah.
I think Will Ferrell plays Megamind.
Oh, okay.
Tina Fey does the.
I'm suddenly not interested.
What? I thought that'd push you
I
over
hate
the
Will
edge.
Ferrell. You didn't know this?
No.
I hate Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Can't stand him.
Well,
Trapped in the
you
booth of
don't have-
emotions right now.
Sorry, bud.
You don't have to watch him. I mean, he only lends
Right.
the voice.
Right.
And it's about the origin story is he basically has Superman's origin story. He's being sent from a destroyed planet to Earth, but he has bad luck. Basically, Superman lands just before him, and so
What?
all that's left for him is to become the villain to Superman.
Oh man. Okay.
and Superman then basically dies. Finally, one of Megamind's ploys pays out, and he kills Superman. And then there is no more superhero to stop him, and he gets bored, and stuff basically unfolds from
Aw.
there. So it's a really funny movie, at least in my opinion.
Okay, that sounds pretty cute.
Except for the part of the guy dying.
Yeah.
That's not so cute, but
I
whatever.
mean, it's a superhero movie. They're just gonna come back to life later.
True.
Probably, yeah.
I wonder though, like if like the current day of like superhero movies, if it makes it more possible for superheroes to die. Like, does Robert Downey Jr. want to come back as Iron Man? That could prevent Iron Man from coming back. No,
What? What do you mean?
because
Or
like
the fact that if the actor doesn't want to reprise the role?
exactly, or if the actor dies and they're like, well, we could just put a new actor in there, and like, well, Marvel hasn't really has done that actually, but
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
guy who
he wasn't.
did
He wasn't
Black Panther.
replaced. He wasn't replaced. He wasn't like, I'm Black
Right,
Panther.
it's
What
a
are you
different
talking
person.
about? But they did do that with
They're like,
War
yeah,
Machine.
yeah. They're like, he died. and here's the.
What's his name?
Yeah, but that's like old.
Cheadle, something. He
Don Cheadle?
plays the War Machine was
Yeah,
played
Tony
by
Rhodes.
the guy. Yeah, he was played by a different actor in the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's kind of actually weird to go back and see the first Iron Man and just like, oh yeah, Terrence Howard was.
That's who it
War
was.
Machine.
Yeah,
Terrence Howard, yeah.
I have a really bad memory for names, so. But yeah, they replaced him because for reasons I don't know.
I think it was monetary that he was asking to be paid as much as Robert Downey Jr. And they said, no.
Also, it kind of sounded like Terrence Howard just is kind of a strange personality, just
Mm.
like as a human being. So I think there might have been.
Really?
Yeah,
didn't know that.
apparently, like there's just a lot of weird stories on him that crop up. So I think there was some just personality clashes that the studio I think didn't want to deal with.
Good sirs, I need to get going. I gotta go scare some kids in 10 minutes.
All right.
Have
Have
fun.
fun.
Well, good luck with your frightening of children. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us.
I hope you guys get back to whatever.
Talking
Talk to you
about
later.
random things
Well, we're-
on a
Yeah,
work in
yeah.
progress stream? No, never.
We were talking Tyranid rumors, weren't we?
Right.
Maybe? Sort
Yes,
of.
we were.
We were talking about the emissary and
Oh yeah, I was gonna say with regard to the emissary thing, I could also just see it being a way for like something that's about night-sized, but not quite like what the size of a Norn Queen's supposed to be, as a way to
Okay,
introduce.
here, I figured it out.
I mean, it's
Go ahead. No, you finish, and then I'll do mine.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. Just like basically something that would be somewhere between like a Tyrannifex size and a Night Titan.
Yeah, I want a new Swarm Lord model that's probably proper Lord of War size. So if that's the Hive emissary, I'm all for it.
So I think that what we're dealing with is they had a big giant Tyranid that they called the Dominatrix, right?
Yeah.
But Games Workshop can't sell a model that's called a Dominatrix.
Man,
So the
depends on what
Dominatrix
kind
is
of
always supposed to
market
have
they're
like
trying
an.
to get into.
Well, I think they got plans for Slanesh, but I don't think they're Tyranid plans. So what I expect is that they need to whitewash the name. Well, that's not a good expression for it. They need to like pick a name that's more sellable than a Dominatrix, but I'm expecting it might be in that same vein, simply because the fluff for the Dominatrix was that initially it was supposed to have a Norn Queen on its back. So maybe what this is like Norn Queens don't come down to a planet because they're like giant ship sized. But maybe this is like a Norn Queen node or something like that, or like a Norn Queen
Yeah, but
like a smaller version of a Norn Queen, or like a emissary in the sense that the Norn Queen can't come down. So the Norn Queen sends down some kind of like, instead of Hive Tyrant, like Hive Queen or something that is like the Norn Queen's eyes and ears on the planet.
Right.
Yeah,
Does this make sense?
Proxy.
yeah, but as I said, basically that's the Hive Tyrant.
Yeah, but maybe this one's bigger. Maybe it's like on the like biomechanical wheelchair, like the dominatrix is, like that kind of thing, rather than just like a standalone
I mean, I'm fine.
big beefy tyrant thing.
I'm fine if it looks cool. So
Oh, it'll look cool. It better look cool. Kajan, what are you worried about? If it doesn't look cool, we're just gonna make a better one.
yeah.
That's what we're here for, man.
Well, it's I'm not having much confidence after Johnny 5 lives.
After what?
Johnny 5, the latest.
Johnny 5. Yeah, I guess we didn't get to talk about the LVO reveals. What did y'all think of the LVO stuff and those Johnny 5 missile launchers?
Oh man, they were so not great.
I've yet to see anyone who thinks they're cool. I don't know. Like there is also the like online like, oh, I hate this. How much do you want to hate this as well sort of thing where we're all, you know, having a I hate this pissing contest on some levels, but I don't know. I haven't seen anyone who's been like, these are awesome. Except when your buddy Ironbeak, I don't know if he made that image of the Talarian or whatever, where he took the Saurus warrior and gave him 2 missile launchers, or if he found it somewhere else and just reposted it on Instagram. But people loved that. They thought it was the coolest shit.
I think they're like individual components of those Desolation Squad things that I think are fine, but like again, and I feel like it's a common refrain with a lot of the newer GW stuff, just like sometimes the whole just doesn't like, and the proportions with how they, you know, the model came up as a whole just like didn't really like, you know, hit the target, so to speak.
Yeah. I agree.
Like as far as I can, because a couple of people did those like photoshops of like how to make these look less crap, and like it looks like pretty cool. You know, if you kind of had the ones where they sort of side carry the missile launchers, but like as like you look at these things and it's just yeah, Johnny 5 definitely comes into mind. The other thing is it just kind of looks like t-shirt cannons, which like those photoshops of you know, Nerf kind of guns. And also just kind of looks like they're like, hey, you know, we want these guys to be like missile launchers, but you know, we don't want to just do like the old like shoulder mounted stuff that has looked fine for literally decades, you know, with the original Marines. Let's just make it like, you know, a missile launcher, but like a double-barreled shotgun version of that, and call it a day.
I feel like with the Primaris Marines, they want everything to be a rifle. Like it all has to be a rifle. So we got to have a missile rifle. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Doesn't that ammo belt go nowhere too?
Yeah, that
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I hope that's a power cable.
When I saw that, saw that picture, that literally broke my brain when I tried to figure out what's attached where. You have a power cable coming in from the backside, and ammunition belt that goes nowhere, attaches to nowhere. It's so terrible. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm laughing, but the alternative is crying.
I know I'm pedantic when it comes to functionality of models and stuff like that. I know that. But
Oh, you're not the only one.
I feel like I'm willing to accept certain amounts of, you know, impracticality of stuff. Like sometimes, I mean, like some of the stuff I've done is like, oh, this Tyranid is flying, but what's making him fly? It's like, I don't know, the warp,
Magic.
whatever. Sure, like,
the warp.
I'm kind of like okay with that stuff, but like, I think the closer it looks to something that we like recognize in life as like a functional thing in real life, and it like is clearly like if this was a real life thing, it's like that person would be dead the moment they fired off one of these rockets. You know, it's like this is impractical and just like clunky and in no way like shape functional in real life. I think that's the part that's harder to come by,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so we all clearly do not like the missile launchers. What do people like? What did you see that you liked at LVO?
I mean, I like that new dreadnought.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
the Dreadnought. I mean, I still dislike that they phasing out the old Dreadnought, but I mean, sorry,
Are they phasing out the old Dreadnought? Is that confirmed?
I mean that's where we're going. At least in my mind, they are still trying to replace the old stuff. That's why we're getting all
Yeah.
the better tech, new tech. I mean,
Hey, Brother Pink has a theory that they're just doing that, and then they're going to take the firstborn and make them heresy.
I'm
The
fine with
heresy
that.
models are kind of better than the regular models,
Yeah.
arguably.
You mean better? What?
In terms of what I liked, the vampires were neat.
Cool.
The vegan vampires, as you called it on
Yeah.
the last Friday.
Yeah.
I like
I didn't
those.
even realize they were vegans.
And you won't like this, but I actually like the Daughters of Cain. I agree.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't a fan.
I agree with Simon about the masks still being crap, but I still think they're an easy fix. You
Yep.
just have to close the mouth area. So it's just a
Ah,
featureless
yeah,
mask,
that's
and
better.
then they're looking proper scary, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with the Daughters of Cain, and I also have a set of the warband they released for what's it called, Warcry.
Yep.
Because those models are great. So yeah, that's.
Will, what'd you like?
Honestly, I kind of like the Arbites that comes with that
Nice.
bottle. I will say, and I know I definitely made mention of it in the Discord this week. I get the sort of pseudo medieval kind of Salet style like helmet that you know, they went with the Arbites and they had for a while, and I like it. But the armor is definitely a little bit too pared down and too just like straight up medieval looking.
Yep.
I missed the little bit of like detailing that, and I understand that part of the reasons may be to avoid infringement on some designs
Judge Dredd.
for Judge Dredd, but like
Yeah.
it's lacking a little bit of like texture in the models, even though like they're a nice glow up, so to speak, from the original. Yeah, they're just fun different models for the 40K universe.
Cool.
I'm going the different
Nice.
route on those. I'm not a fan.
You're gonna what?
I'm not a fan of the
Not a fan?
new Arbites. I like my Arbites looking like Judge Dredd.
Well, can you not like convert these to be Judge Dredd? Can you not put some like filigree on their knees or whatever the heck it is?
Should be pretty easy.
Work.
But yeah, that would be a bit.
Kajan, you sculpt everything from scratch. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, but I also took a break and started working on two big Carnifex models because after November I wanted to work on something easier than 28 scale miniatures.
Smart.
So
I feel like I'm pretty excited that they're doing new Lizardmen. I don't know if I really mentioned that, but
yeah, they look great.
I think it's about time.
Oh, those little new dinosaur riders that they got are like really cute.
I hate their faces, but everything else is kind of interesting. got those big square jaws. I'm like, ugh, why?
I like the Saurian warriors.
Yes, they're pretty cool. And I like all their, like, I think I said this, but all their, like, iconography stuff. Like, it looks like they're getting very kind of Necron, like, pseudo-science, like, weird slan space technology look to their iconography, and I really like that.
I mean, they were supposed to be the old ones, so
You're right.
I still dislike that they removed that part of the lore. I always liked the idea
Did they?
of the Slan being the old ones.
Oh, the link between, you mean, like,
Yeah.
Fantasy Battle and 40K?
Yeah. The old link where the Warhammer Fantasy world was just a planet in the Warhammer 40K universe, but cut off
Listen,
by...
I can understand why that might piss off some fantasy players, because it's like, what? We're just like a footnote in your universe? What the heck? But I thought that was really clever.
I also like that you had then Sigma being one of the missing Primarchs, and
Yeah, I like that fluff. I thought that was cute.
and you had the Slan being the last refugee of the old ones who living on this low-tech planet where they basically hide out from the Necrons. I liked all of that stuff.
I thought that was cool. Yeah. But I get that, I don't know. Fantasy Battle people are real serious and they got to have their own shit and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I thought that was fun.
As a former Fantasy Battle player, I thought those were always kind of fun tie-ins. But
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I played Warhammer Fantasy until they ruined my undead army, and then I stopped.
And then you set it on fire in protest?
I sold it off in protest because it just
okay.
was done. I had an undead army that was basically mostly archers and spearmen, and then they brought in the Kemi, the Egyptian.
Oh, yeah, Kemri?
Yeah, and removed the archers from the other undead, because
dumb.
undead don't have eyes, and that's why they can't shoot a bow.
What? Kemri don't have eyes either.
Yeah, but they lob the arrows into the air and then use magic to guide them down.
What the heck? This is the
Wait.
dumbest crap. Are
Wait,
you
is that
serious?
serious?
Yeah, that was the at least the explanation given at the time. I mean,
God, I hate that.
Oh, my
that
lord.
was
I hate that a lot.
That is terrible.
a third edition or something like that. That was the
That was
explanation
real
given
dumb.
why the vampire undead no longer have archers. And the
Real
Kami
dumb.
undead can't shoot at range. And the Kami using their archers, they basically lob it into the air and then use magic to rain it down.
How does this bow and arrow work? Magic. These people love fantasy and want Old World to come back. Okay.
Oh, I would love the old world to come back, but
I mean, I have to admit, I
Yes.
have no idea about Age of Sigmar's lore and stuff like that, and that's also preventing me to get really into Age of Sigmar.
I just kind of miss block infantry games, to be honest. Like the individual base stuff, like yeah, I get the appeal and everything, but I just kind of miss just blocks of troops moving in formation, which was kind of the appeal I enjoyed about fantasy battles as compared to 40k. So an Age of Sigmar just seems more like it's 40k but fantasy.
I never got into Fantasy Battle. None of my Warhammer friends played it. We were all about the 40K. I have no idea.
I have to admit, for me, it was mostly about kit bashing.
Yeah.
That's how I got started into kit bashing back in the day. because I had
Your fantasy?
yeah, Warhammer Fantasy. My undead army. I bought a bunch of skeletons and a bunch of Empire troops and a bunch of High Elf, and I kit bashed
Mhm.
the Empire and the Elves into the skeletons, and
Cool.
and my lore behind this was I had a necromancer leader, and he had
Yeah.
a vampire secondary, Lamia, one of the vampire ladies, who was with him, and he would basically rise the dead from the battlefields, and so I had from every empire had undead among them, because they basically were the fallen fighters from the battlefield.
That sounds cool.
Nice.
I had a.
Like that.
I remember some of my earlier kit bashes was with my high elf army, because I always liked the Calidor like dragon like motif. But you know they're always like, oh no, you know dragons are like kind of rare now. You know it's hard to wake them. Blah 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 blah. But they had the like dragon knights that was like converting old Saurus models, I think, and like adding. I had some
Okay.
gargoyle wings so that I just remember turning my white lion chariot into like 2 wyvern carried chariots.
That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Like definitely a lot of like more scaly you know armor like motifs and stuff. So I had to like borrow from a lot of stuff. It was a lot. It was definitely like kind of my first big foray into doing more extensive kit bashing at the time. It was very rewarding.
Nice. As kit bashing often is.
Indeed.
Tom Wilson says, I think the two games are still somewhat linked, even if they aren't in the same universe. Demons have the same characters in both, the old
Right.
ones in
Right.
40k, and there was a bit in the end times where the Skaven contacted what might have been the Eldar.
Really?
I don't know.
Cool.
Maybe
Didn't know that part.
maybe you know demons and like you know the various GW worlds are sort of like crabs. You know, everyone naturally sort of evolves into that kind of design.
What is this fucking crab thing again?
Crabification. The crabification of 40k of Warhammer.
That's my headcanon and I'm sticking to it.
I like it.
Kajan, what else is going on in the chat?
We basically talked about different stuff. I posted a link about the Desolation squad where they have Nerf guns, which I think it's the way they look cool. And
Oh, yeah.
we briefly talked about polymer clay and the small heat guns you can get for electronics. They are like pen-like. They only heat up to like 200 degrees Celsius, and you can fix small details with them. Really, really easy.
Nice.
We briefly mentioned that Microsoft is in the process of acquiring Blizzard and Activision
Oh, they
Blizzard.
are?
Yeah, I think
I didn't realize
they,
that.
when they dipped so much, they tried to buy them. I think it's right
okay.
now with the cartel agency.
Oh, Competition Bureau or whatever the heck they call it.
Oh,
Yeah,
the FCC.
Make sure it's not a video game monopoly or whatever.
Yeah, the EU just issued an antitrust warning against Microsoft about the acquisition, and it's not certain it will go through at this point. I mean,
Okay.
the USA isn't sure about letting them acquire it, and the EU has concerns about it, so it might not happen. We'll see.
Gotcha.
Not that antitrust things have really kicked in much in the last few years. At least not in the States.
Yeah,
I think
but
Europe,
over here,
I think, is cranking down a little bit more
yeah,
frequently these days.
I
Thankfully.
mean, Europe is also cranking down hard on Twitter and stuff like that right
Yeah.
now. So it's the whole thing about Musk taking over Twitter has set loose a lot of bad mojo with the EU. But yeah,
We need some of that in Canada because we have only like 3 main companies that do all of our cell phone stuff, and they're basically in collusion. That their prices are all the same, and they're all Canada pays some of the highest rates for cell phone service of anywhere in the world.
yeah, I heard it's the same in the USA, where basically you have two ISP providers, and they
Yeah.
basically
I thought there's more.
and
There's
Will?
two major ones. It's mostly Comcast / Xfinity and Verizon Fios. And they
Oh, for internet.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
both definitely suck for different
yeah,
reasons.
okay.
and they seem to have agreed not to compete with each other. They basically divvy up the USA, and you get one or the other.
Yeah. But we have both in Canada. We have that the same companies are the 3 for cell phone, and they're also like 2 of them are the major internet providers. And now one of them is trying to buy a competitor. And basically all Canadians are like, this is a dumb idea. This shouldn't happen. And the government's like, well, I guess we're going to have to make it happen. And like they said that as long as the this big internet provider that's gobbling up the other one, as long as they spin off the cell phone division, it's not a worry. And yet our internet and our cell phone bills are so expensive. They're just not doing anything about it. Man, this is the most boring stream. I hope people are into this crap because this is just random all over the place.
I feel like that's kind of the charm of the Work in Progress Wednesdays.
That's what people tune in for. That's the bullshit you pay the no bucks for. Speaking of paying no bucks, if you're into this kind of random banter and maybe touching on hobby, you should like and subscribe and leave a comment. That's awesome.
And hit the bell.
We're going to get into like a deep dive on Tyranid rumors on the Creature Conference next Friday because I promised Marco. So we'll probably rehash the stuff we talked about tonight and review previous stuff.
Meanwhile, what's everybody in chat working on these days? Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you two working on? Tell me what you guys are working on.
I let Will go.
Will or Kajan, what are you working
on? I'm working on, as I mentioned earlier, 2 Carnifex models. I want to do a Screamer Killer.
Yeah.
Basically modern version of the Screamer Killer.
Great. Big fan.
I'm not quite sure what I'm using for the head right now. I'm in the process of doing my own scything blades. And
yes. Hey, I thought you said you were going to build this stock so that you didn't have to work so hard on sculpting.
Yeah. Well. For now, I'm
working out that way?
still not working as much as I want.
Yeah.
And the other model is supposed to be an old One Eye, and I want to do custom claws for it.
Yep.
So I also do
like crab style. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Jaws of Life type of claws. I
want
them big, beefy, something that looks like if it gets hold of something, it's going to cut through it no matter what.
Sounds exciting.
You know, if you need a concept sketch for something like that, there's a shit hot artist by the name of Tactical DBag who can help you out.
I'm now
I think I heard of him. And yeah,
You might not be Vermis, but you're catching up on Jess apparently.
Yeah, which is high praise, and I feel like I don't know, not accurate.
Dude, I see it. I see it. It's the style of your line drawings. I see it there. I know what Evil Eye's talking about.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
not-
but that's what I'm working on, and now it's Will's
Yeah.
turn.
Basically, I got caught up in this just idea storm. Lately, I've been just trying to finish off little projects that I've got lying around. Like I finished off
Yep.
my old one eye conversion because I'd been like stalling on like the rear set of siding talons for ages, and then kind of came up with, I think somebody posted something that just kind of like clicked something, and I rather like the solution. I
Yeah.
really should post it up on Insta at some point. But yeah, like I was on the Tyranid Hive Discord, and some guy made some kit bash and used those crushing claws as like hooved feet, and then that just sparked off just like ideas. So I'm kind of revisiting a Tyranid Prime sort of model.
Yep.
In part to use like this idea for the feet, kind of stealing your my little screamer killer ideas for your little like mini tyrant
Oh
to a certain
yeah.
extent. But tonight's been a lot of chopping up stuff and rearranging things, but I think I like where it's going.
Good. Happy to hear it.
Okay.
So I got really confused there with the your my little. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, that's been my evening, and thankfully I haven't cut myself yet.
Good. That's always key.
Yes.
And me, I'm working on. Go ahead,
Yeah.
John.
Chat has started to reply
Oh,
what
yes.
they are up to.
Yeah, let us know.
James Mahood said, got me a screamer killer.
Nice.
Carbide is working on an hench orc with the bling and painting an old hammer style citadel wizard.
Yeah.
Blitz Mechanica said, have my CAD files on a 3D printer. I'm not sure what Blitz is referring to, which CAD files.
I want to hear more about that Screamer Killer. Is that a classic old Screamer Killer? Are you converting a Screamer Killer? Give us more details, James.
And Tom Wilson is working on a ruined Mordheim style building.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, he's been posting updates on that. It's a pretty nice building so far. I'm getting real interested in Mordheim. I bought Skaven for the purpose of doing Mordheim. I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah, I got interested in Mordheim thanks to the video game.
Who's the person online?
I not played that.
Who's the person online that's been doing the cheese stealer cult conversion?
I didn't.
What? I don't know about this.
They're doing a gene stealer cult, but it's Skaven.
Skaven?
Yeah. So.
Oh my lord! I have not seen this. This sounds awesome.
It might have been on Reddit.
That's still a valid place for awesome Tyranid or space marine. Whoa! Ew! Gross. Awesome Tyranid ideas.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
And James Mahood said that you are right about your assumption about the Screamer Killer.
Wait, which one? I said two things.
He said yes. I figured.
Was it this or this? Yes. Okay.
He said,
all right.
got
Helpful.
two
Thank you.
done of the ones and making a third of the new kit with conversion of green and green stuff. So
okay.
Apparently he does both.
Apparently, it's just a Kickstarter.
I think that's two of the old ones.
Someone's actually just doing a cheese stealer cult, like CAD Kickstarter.
You found it?
Not the one that I'm thinking of, but like apparently, like there are like CAD models that you can just purchase. But I'm trying to find the ones that like was converted
Okay.
recently.
I just found a Kickstarter page. The Cult of Wild Rattos, a cheese stealer cult. Red clans are among the stars. One page rules army, created by the evil one. And
Oh, is that what it is? Is Cheese Stealer from One Page Rules? Is that where everyone's getting it from?
No, Cult Vermin.
Simon was saying we should do a review of One Page Rules because
Yeah,
they got some cool like approaches to stuff. I don't know that much about it actually.
They seem to be basically copying 40k, but better in a way.
Simpler, right? Isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah, a lot simpler. And reminding me of what's his name? Mortis? One second. There is a guy on Instagram who does cat things, army, who also has gene stealer type of space rats in general.
Wait, are you talking about Moratank? Moratank?
Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
He started off doing more tank stuff, but now, yeah, he did a rat on a space Skaven-y thing Kickstarter. I almost bought them. I was this close. I'm like, I don't know that I really need these. I should probably save the money. I'm glad I did.
I found
Not that they're bad. I just never would have used them.
I found the Reddit link that I saw earlier today. I posted up in the Discord channel and on the YouTube chat.
Thanks.
But they this guy at least definitely did some like cool kit bashes with some of the Gene Stealer cult models and definitely some Skaven models.
Nice.
Very cool.
Blitz needs to go to bed, and he's saying night. And night, Blitz.
Oh man, that means I should probably be getting off soon. Thanks for joining us, Blitz. Have a good sleep. Oh man, these Cheese Stealer cultists are pretty cool.
Right. They're just like really fluffy and characterful. I like that they've got like pieces of cheese or like pizza, like that they're carrying around.
That is. Did you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Amazing. Oh, Kajan got it. Damn, I'm not logged into Reddit.
Yeah, I just like happened to run into it the other like yesterday or today. So always fun to see.
Reminds me, I don't even remember who the artist was, but like in the years before like social media really kicked off, when we were all still using blogs and forums and stuff, there was someone who did like a space Skaven using Eldar rules, and I can't even remember what like the name for them was, but it was so well done. I think they were supposed to be like what's space Skaven? Is it Demiurge or something like that?
Hrud. No, not Hrud.
Hrud, right?
Hrud, yes.
No.
Yeah.
Is Hrud our space Skaven kind of?
It used to be the Hrud, but they got retconned into those squid type of thing.
Yeah. But it used to be that they were like space Skaven, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you find second edition art for them, they're looking like a Skaven.
Yes, that's I think he did them like that, like Hrud kind of thing.
So many interesting little
they were so good.
side characters that they like drew up in the backgrounds of like the 3rd edition codex rulebook that they have so many opportunities to expand.
Yeah, definitely.
But before that, we need more Primaris lieutenants.
Oh god. I feel like even Space Marine people now are like enough with the Primaris lieutenants. Are they not?
I don't know. I'm not that interested in Smurfs, so
yeah.
Not to sound imperialist, but you know, they all kind of look the same to me. But
yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I bought I actually bought a Skaven Blood Bowl team to convert them into space into
Nice.
cult, but then
Yeah.
I discovered Mortian tank and basically gave up and just
Like, oh, you already did this.
yeah. And he does it so much better with his 3D stuff than I ever could. My skill level is simply not there, and his stuff looks so amazing. At least his space rats. The Imperial stuff is hit and miss for me. But
I feel like his Imperial stuff is the strongest for me.
depends on what.
Like that stuff feels bang on. The rats sometimes I feel like they're a bit low detail.
Yeah, I mean he puts a lot of work into them, but he also
Yeah, certainly.
there are a few things I'm not too sure about what he does. He has some old school weapons, artillery pieces, and he has this drop exo ogre stuff, which I'm not a fan
Is
of.
that him? I thought that was a different guy.
No, it's him.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the chat. I mean, it's a work in progress, of course, but I'm not a fan of open carry type stuff where every sniper can basically kill the operator of the big tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's the new Warhammer aesthetic, so I get it. But
I think technically that's kind of the old Warhammer aesthetic.
the baby carrier is basically. I have never seen something like the baby carrier in 40k before they started with Primaris. And suddenly it's everywhere, where you have the pain engine, where the sororitas is strapped in the front.
Mhm.
I don't get it.
Well, didn't it all start with the Grey Knight baby carrier? I love it. I love it. I grew up on Exo Squad. Give it to me all day.
Oh man,
I will eat it right up.
it has been a hot minute since I've seen Exo Squad.
I've actually got an Exo Squad toy up on my shelf behind me.
I had the
One of the Neo Sapien 2-seaters.
oh, I had the JT Marsh.
Was it the blue one?
Yeah.
I had that too. Fun fact, let's link it back to Warhammer. I had the JT Marsh Exo Squad, like flying exosuit, whatever. I wanted to make it destroyed scenery on the base of my Flying Hive Tyrant, but then I never finished my Flying Hive Tyrant.
We never got that cartoon over here.
It didn't last very
Exo
long.
Squad? No, it
yeah,
didn't.
We never got that over here.
It was around for long enough to be interesting, and then it died.
Yeah, no, it sounds like Dino Riders.
Yeah, that too.
I miss Dino Riders.
Yeah. You missed or you miss?
I miss.
You did see it.
Yeah, I saw it. I think it's a brilliant setting that should be revisited at some point.
What was the setting? Like,
You have.
How were they in the past? I can't remember.
They were hunted by those mutant reptile things and had to space jump and got their engine got damaged while they were jumping. They were opening a portal to jump, and their engine got damaged, and that's how they ended up in the past. And landed on prehistoric Earth, crashed basically, and the enemy capital ship was drawn along with them through the space jump. And that's how you get the evil faction onto there, and you have the good guys basically living in harmony with their telepathic powers who make friends among the dinosaurs, and you have the evil faction with their brainwashing technology who enslaving the
Oh yeah, they
dinosaurs.
had like brain boxes, right? That they
Yeah.
put on the dinosaurs.
And
I remember that part.
That's how they would always defeat the Tyrannosaurus. The big
They
evil
knock the brain box off.
Yeah, the big evil boss really loves the Tyrannosaurus, and they put this helmet onto it, but the helmet is brainwashing the Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
And the good guys basically you shoot it off, and yeah. I had
Everything's fine.
I actually had Dino Riders toys, and my cousin.
Nice.
I would always get the good guys, and my cousin would get the bad guys. So
Well, that was me and Brother Pink. He'd always get the good guys. I got the bad guys. I loved it. I don't know if he did. You fuck it. So I'm trying to like drill a hole in here so I can glue this like spoke in here so I can use it to pin this tail onto my guy. I really should just like shove this in here with some glue and then just fill it with putty. Would be the smartest thing to do.
That's what I would do.
Because I've been chopping away plastic to get my bit in there and it's just not working.
I don't know why you do that. I would just roll up a hook on the wire. The end of the wire, curl it up a little bit, like 90 degrees, and then fill it with putty so it hooks in when the putty sets.
That'd be smart. I'm just gonna do it the budget way.
I mean, you already have a hook on the end of the wire, which you are holding right now.
Oh man, you're right. Too late. I already put the glue on the other side. It'll be fine. What I could do is the poor man's approach, which is fill the tail with glue and then dump a bunch of baking soda in it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that would also work. I also tend to use some pliers and squeeze up the end of the wire before I put it in, so it has some ridges where the glue can grab into.
Oh, smart. Also a good solution.
I had those wires pull out one too many times.
Ah, yes. I take my razor blade to put this white powder down. I swear it's baking soda.
I wouldn't do a razor blade, but yes.
Gotta test for freshness.
Yeah, hot tip. In case you haven't seen this on the stream before, you haven't encountered it in Warhammer Land. If you need to rapidly set super glue, baking soda is your friend.
Huh. I don't think I'd run
When does
into
it set it? It also gives it body. Sorry?
I don't think I've run into that solution before, which is amazing for how long I've been in this hobby.
It's like filler.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because it sets it and it also like fills gaps.
James Mahood has.
And it gets pretty hard.
James Mahood has tagged you on Instagram for the Screamer Killer.
Well, thank you. Go check that out.
And Carbide said, heat up the pin and melt it through.
Oh, dang. That's another good idea.
My solution is to bond deck it.
Bond deck?
Bond deck? It's UV curable liquid resin that you can get.
Ah.
It comes in like a...
And you can use it as glue?
To a certain extent. Like, it's not... They advertise it as like, you can bond whatever things you want together, which like, it does sort of, but at the same time, it's like, you probably still want like super glue, but yeah, it's like, you essentially kind of get in like a little like pen gel cap kind of thing that you can you know, just push out a little bit, and then you just use a little UV light. Cures really hard. I find it fantastic for like light gap filling.
Yeah.
Because, you know, cures hard like essentially like plastic, so it's a little bit more stable than like trying to infill with just green stuff or something like that. In fact, I think more
Yeah.
often than not, if I'm like kind of extending or like readjusting some elbows or arms or whatever on my nids, usually I'll pin the two parts together with a paper clip, and then do like an initial layer of the Bondic, and then once that's cured, I just do like kind of detail work with green stuff on top of that, and that tends to be a lot more stable than just trying to infill it totally with green stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I don't recommend filling anything with green stuff. It's too expensive.
Yeah, that too.
And it's also very dense. It adds weight. Mostly it's just too expensive.
So that wire is that bicycle spoke?
Yes. Not going anywhere. It's also hard as anything to cut. I gotta go harvest some more soon for my dead bike. I'm getting low.
Where do you harvest them?
I have a bike wheel that died
Ah, okay.
in my shed, so I just go and harvest them every so often. I tried to make like a reel when I was trying to be like make reels and shit. I made a reel about harvesting the bike spokes in my dark shed, but for some reason Instagram ate it, so it never happened. But I was really happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you and Simon talk about you using bike spokes, but I never was
I think it was
lucky.
actually Marco who
Okay.
dropped the tip on me. I'm pretty sure.
But I never was lucky enough to find some.
Do you bike?
Yeah, but I don't have a broken bike from which I could. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose.
What about a
to buy-
bike shop?
kind of defeats the purpose to buy a new bike wheel for the purpose of harvesting them.
No. You screw up your old bike wheel, and then when the shop says, "Do you want this?" you don't go, "Why would I want an old broken bike wheel?" You go, "Heck yeah, I need those spokes."
Yeah, but I haven't been unfortunate enough to need
shit.
one.
Okay, well, Marco, I think he just goes to his bike shop and just goes like, "Hey, got any dead spokes I can keep?" And they just give them to him for free. So maybe you go to a bike shop and ask them.
I tried that with the music store to get some broken
Guitar
string.
wire?
Yeah, and they basically
Yeah.
were no can do. We throw that stuff away, and I was like, yeah, you could give me them. I mean, I'm not going to dumpster dive.
See, this is why I have
They're
friends
like,
with guitars.
"Yeah,
and
sure."
basses.
And then you left and sorry, what's that?
This is why I like bug my guitar / bassist friends. I'm just like, if you have bass strings that you're replacing, please save them. I want them.
I'm unfortunately not having any musician friends.
Just start a band.
Yeah.
Problem solved. It's just to get the strings.
Gotta have the impractical solutions to solve problems.
And just carbide. Coat hangers is a good solution, but
Yeah, definitely.
I I just buy the wire in the hardware store.
Also function.
I just buy these pins from K&S Precision Metals from my hobby shop, which is probably way more expensive than just buying the wire. No, actually, now I use bike spokes. What am I talking about? No.
I have some
slew of that too.
I have some old
Spokes?
welding wire lying around, and for smaller
That would
stuff.
work.
Yeah, for smaller stuff, but for the 2mm wire, I just went out and bought some copper wire. It's not quite as durable as a coat hanger or a bicycle spoke, but
Well, sometimes like you don't want durable though. Sometimes you want malleable. Like I have this this black stuff which is supposed to be floral wire, And it's brilliant because it's like it's this weird mix of malleable but also firm.
Yeah, I have
Like when you want it to be firm, it's firm, and when you want it to be malleable, it's malleable. I can't explain it.
I have a 0.9 millimeter floral wire lying around as well. Because of those traits, because it's rigid, but once you get over the initial resistance, you can't bend it easily.
Yeah.
And then I also have 0.4 millimeter aluminium wire, which I twist up for stuff.
Yep.
For the really fine detail stuff. Bonsai wire. Carbide suggests bonsai wire. I haven't seen
Oh, for
bonsai wire.
posing like bonsai trees? I'm not familiar with that.
Imagine,
That's the one Japanese weeb thing I'm not familiar with.
I imagine it's probably pretty similar to like the floral
Floral?
wire,
Yeah.
but not positive on that.
Oh, it's copper or aluminium.
Pretty good.
The bonsai?
Yeah, the bonsai wire. There are two kinds of wire that can be used for bonsai. Anodized aluminium and annealed copper. Aluminium is better when used for deciduous species.
Oh, yeah. Deciduous trees?
And the hard copper wire is best for conifer and pines. I didn't know that. But it looks interesting. I mean,
all the different things we learn on this stream.
There you go. Thanks, Carbide. I had a bonsai tree. I loved it. And then I went to Japan with my wife, and then I left it in the care of my father, and he did not care for it. He's like, I'm supposed to water it? I'm like, oh, God. It died. I just got it from some like random shop in Chinatown, though, so I'm sure I could get it.
and carbide says it's very malleable.
Nice.
Yeah, it sounds like a good trade. And it's all gravy.
Oh, God, don't breathe in this resin.
No, don't breathe in any resin.
When working with resin,
not just
you
that
should
one.
be wearing a mask.
Yeah, probably
Shoulda,
should be.
coulda, didn't.
Probably don't need those brain cells today.
Part of me is like, don't glue this in because then it'll be easier to like take it out and work on it. And part of me is like, do glue this in because you know how you are and you'll work in pieces until forever when it should all be together.
It's going along pretty nicely though. It's getting that nice contour.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Also, it's helping me like figure out the angle of the model. Because I think that I was picturing it more upright, but when I look at Roberto's sketches, it's very like leaned forward. Got to figure out the legs though, because I don't know that the leg pose is perfect. But maybe.
I mean, the legs as you have them right now, you probably won't get it to lean forward much.
Well, really?
I mean, from what I'm seeing, the legs on your table right now, they seem more like extended instead of hunched.
I don't want it crouched, but like versus like this is what I think when I think upright, and then like, but it's more like this, which feels like leaned forward to me. I don't want to like totally lean forward. Okay, screw it. I'm gluing this tail in because it'll make me work faster.
Nice.
I know how. I don't know if you guys get this, but like I have this problem where I will. Oh look, Kajan. I will take some kind of plier And I'll squeeze this to make some marks in it for the glue to grab onto.
Oh.
And of course, these pliers are garbage.
You can use the cable cutters you have on your table.
Yeah,
To make some
they're over there.
just don't cut entirely through it. Just
Oh, I do still have them here. Okay.
some marks. I mean,
Yeah, these ones probably work better. Good tip, Kajan. I used to do this all the time, and then I got lazy. Also, I'm going to like sculpt a bunch of putty around it, so that'll like also kind of hold it in. Sorry, yeah. So I have this problem where like when I'm converting a model, I'll like convert the parts of it all separately. I'll be like, oh, now I'm going to work on the arms. Now I'm going to work on the legs. Now I'm going to work on the head. And I'll never put them together. I just like keep working on them separately. But invariably, as soon as I put them together, that's when like I actually start working on it at like a good pace. Up until that point, I feel like I'm like dragging my heels, kind of dragging my feet until like I get them all like all the pieces assembled, and then I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going. Now I really want to like get it done. Anyone else have that problem?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, you just kind of, I think once like you're done dry fitting and like are kind of see the whole kind of coming together, it feels like, you know, a huge step forward as opposed to like, hey, I have like one claw that I've
Yeah.
worked on for like 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of have
Like once you start seeing them together, it encourages you to keep going.
I kind of have the opposite problem. I stick the stuff together too soon.
Oh, yeah?
Then suddenly can't reach parts anymore, which I wanted to work on.
See, that's what I always worry about, but that's just an excuse to like not work on it as hard as you wanted to. Just be like, well, I can't reach that part, so I guess I don't have to obsess over it.
I mean, right now, I see the lower back beneath the tail, and I'm like, I would have sculpted that part before I put
Oh, I
it
could
in.
just go in here and go like boop 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 boop, and like really, when you're looking at the model, it's going to be like this, or it's going to be like this, or it's going to be like this. It's never going to be like this. Ooh, this is starting to feel like something.
That's looking pretty good, man.
His big slammy fist. Gotta figure out his arms, but got his hands. Just don't know where to put this in.
Man. Oh, I think most people have kind of signed off for the night from the chat.
I think I should probably sign off for the night. Maybe we should sign off for the night.
Might be a good stopping point.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming out for the stream.
Well, thanks
for
having us.
For the
as
random
always.
conversations. Yeah, and thanks to everyone who joined in the chat and followed along on YouTube. Hope you had a good time. This is not the right bit for this. Yeah, and we'll see you next Work in Progress Wednesday, or you can join us next, well, it'll be 2 weeks, the next time we do a Work in Progress Wednesday stream, provided everyone's available, or you can join us next Friday, a week tomorrow, for the Creature Conference. One of these days, there will be a new How to Sculpt video out. I am currently in post-production hell on it. Just like editing, which is not getting anywhere as fast as I want to. But yeah, you can look forward to that too. The next video subject is tentacles, because that's what was voted for. And there's going to be a giveaway with it.
Ooh.
So I would say I'm about 70% done the editing, I think. I hope. Please let me be 70% done the editing.
Yeah. Good night, Diana, and thanks for the reminder to like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Yes. Good night, Diana. Thank you. Oh my God, this guy is coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the work done tonight.
Things are coming up Millhouse.
Coming up, everything's coming up Millhouse. I distinctly said no nerds. Okay. Well, yeah. Will, thank you. Kajan, thank you.
A pleasure.
And we shall talk to you again very soon. Was that Will?
I don't know. No, I'm just. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And have a great weekend, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you too.
And everyone in chat.
All right. Oh, wait, here. Red Dragon's going to wave goodbye. Bye. Big beefy claw. Here we go. See you later.
Bye.